everybody, Jeremy up here at Cowtown. Today I'd like to do a little video walkthrough on one of our stock model boats. This is an 18 by 56 flat bottom. I do classify this in our bass boat, realm of boats. So we're going to start up here at the front. This does have the tread plate package, which is going to be pretty well your bow, your trolling motor mount, your corner gussets, and your knee braces. This is fully pre-wired, so it does have your trolling motor wiring, wired for 12, 24, or 36 volt trolling motor. It's got 12 volt on the front, as well as a trim switch. You do have pre-wiring for your running lights. You've got one in the front. You've also got one on your back corner gusset. Now you've got dry storage on this front deck. This boat doesn't have any rod locker or any side storage box, so we went ahead and opted to do 2 dry storage lids versus a front live well. Now this does have pre-wiring up here, so if you wanted to add speakers or interior lighting, the wiring is already here. Versus having to try to pull wires up, it's next to impossible to do after the boat's already built. Now down on the floor of the boat, it is fully carpeted, interior, sides, and floor. It does have seat bases down on the floor of this boat as well. This will come standard with the driver and passenger seat, stationary. Then it's got 2 of the fishing seats that you can either put in the bottom of the boat or you can put them up on the decks. It will come with 2 seat pedestals as well, so you can use them for your fishing seats. Now we'll come back to our console. This is a single console boat, but we stock pretty well everything with a single console. We can special order you a dual console if you would like to go that route. All our bass boat models come standard with the windshield, the faceplate for the dash, and this boat here, it is missing a couple of gauges. Reason being, no motor on this boat, so you can go a few different options. We've got some leftover Evinrude still yet. We've got some Suzuki's, and we are also a Mercury dealer. So we've got a pretty good array of engines that we can use, to put on the back of these boats. So you'll have a tachometer that goes here. Your next hole, you can put a speedometer or a gauge style stereo system. A few different options you can go with. Now I do want to talk a little bit about this helm. This is a safety helm, is what they call it. Now, reason they call it that is because you do not feel the torque from the engine. You turn it, the engine will turn, but if you go back and push on the engine, the steering wheel won't. So what that means is whenever you're running down the river or the lake, you let go of that steering wheel, the torque of the engine isn't going to push your boat into the bank. That's a huge selling feature for me. It makes it so anybody can get in this boat and drive it and not have any issues, going to have to work around the torque of the engine. So it does come with a fuel gauge standard. This has a 30-gallon aluminum built-in fuel cell. So that does come with all of our bass boat models also. It does have a switch panel over here. It's got your navigation and anchor lights. It's got your bilge pump. It's got your aerator pump, and it's got an accessory switch as well. Now, what we call here is going to be the jump seats. You've got driver and passenger seat mounted stationary. Then we did do a third center storage as well. I've got a lot of people that want that third seat back here also. We can mount a third seat to that center lid just the same way that we do these seats, or we can put it on a swivel base so you can remove it. Coming back to the rear deck, this is a 5-foot rear deck. We've got our big insulated, aerated, divided live well. Now this live well, big live well, it is 40 inches long, it is a foot deep, and it is a foot wide. So it's a very sizable live well, whether you're catfishing, limb lining, or if you're bass fishing, or if you need to hold more than one limit of fish, you've got the divider to do so. Our back storage compartment here, this is where we've got our aluminum 30-gallon fuel tank. It is a remote fill over on the port side gusset, so you shouldn't ever have to really lift this lid up to do any kind of maintenance or fill any fuel or anything like that. You do have your battery back here, and it's also got plenty of room for, let's say, a 36 volt batteries for your trolling motor. You've got plenty of room for that. You've got room for a charger, onboard charging system if you decide to go that route as well. Now, I do want to talk a little bit about the structure of this boat. That's what really sells them. I'll start off here with the gunnel rails. These are double-walled 125 gauge gunnel rails. This is what I call the backbone of the boat. It's going to really keep any kind of flex out of the boat. This is going to be one of the biggest selling features that we have for these boats. They do a great job as far as keeping any flex out of them. Then we come back to our corner gussets. These are 30+ inches long. Now, with the corner gussets, what people don't take into consideration is not necessarily just the power of the engine on the back, but you get these engines, I mean, there's some of them out there, 4, 5, 6, 700 pounds even. Bouncing up and down a gravel road, you know, puts a lot of stress on these boats. We've seen a lot of them crack right here around where the corner gusset comes down, but generally those corner gussets are 10 or 12 inches long, not 30 plus inches. So that takes all the stress off of the boat whenever there's weight bouncing on the back. Now, the power of the boat is going to be pushing on the transom. That's what these knee braces are for. So we get the torque of these engines, you know, they're huge now, you know, they're putting out torque numbers like diesel pickups were back in the day. So we do these wraparound knee braces. They come all the way around the transom. They are welded everywhere. So I mean, that right there is built into the boat. It makes the transom of the boat, the bottom of the boat, one piece. You know, this is built into the longitudinal runners of the boat, which is the next thing I want to touch base on a little bit. You know, we do cross braces like your standard boats, and then we also do the longitudinal runners. What you get there is you don't get any of the cavitation marks. So what that is you see a lot of boats, I've seen them a year or 2 years old, you look underneath it and they've got all the cross members. And the pressure of the water hitting the bottom of that aluminum skin actually pushes the aluminum up. So it turns into what looks like washboard underneath the boat. Causes cavitation marks at that point, and then causes cavitation going into your jet pump. So with those longitudinal runners, that prevents any of that, adds extra structure to the bottom of the boat, makes it a lot harder to dent, a lot harder to tear up at that point. The back of the boat right here, you know, you're going to be looking at, it's kind of nice not having an engine so I can show you, but we've got trim tabs down on the bottom on both sides, splash plate, put our plug right here, then we've got our aerator screen for your rear live well, you know, we do have that. And then we do have a motor plate as well for extra structure of the boat versus just bolting straight to the skin of the boat. So these boats, guys, they come with a lifetime warranty on our bass boat models. So I mean, that's going to cover it from if this weld cracks, if the knee brace cracks, it doesn't bother us to put a lifetime warranty on them because we just simply don't have a lot of issues out of them. You know, they've been great boats for us over the years. You know, we've been doing them for 20 plus years now. It's been a long time. You know, they've been a great boat. They make them really easy to sell the way that they're built. So I mean, there's a reason that everybody calls them a legend. You know, that's a big one for us. So if you guys have any other questions on this model or any of the other models we offer, just feel free to give us a call, 573-885-6300.